welcome back to my channel, where today I'm bringing you the last video of 2019. I know, can you believe it? And it's a champagne gold New Year's Eve makeup look. So guys, I honestly can't believe that it's the end of 2019 already. I don't know where this year has gone. I mean, it feels like that a lot happened, but at the same time, it feels like it went really quick. So weird. But whatever you have planned for New Year's Eve, I'm going to show you guys how you can create this champagne gold glam look. Okay guys, so I've already primed my eyelids, and today we're going to use another beautiful palette from MUA. And if you guys watched last week's tutorial, which was my Christmas makeup look, then you would have noticed I used another one of their palettes, which had like kind of more brighter colours. This one's got a lot more sort of neutral, kind of golds, pinky tones, which I really love too. And this one's called the Burning Embers palette. So to start off with our crease colour, I'm going to use this lovely soft warm brown colour just here. So as always guys, I'm just using my MAC blending brush to do this, and this is the MAC 217. It's kind of like a bigger fluffy blending brush, and this is a perfect brush just to blend out your crease colour. Remember to always focus in on that crease, meaning if you need to use the tip of your brush just to kind of push into that crease area and then follow it through, you might find it a bit easier. And once you've done that, you just want to use what's left on your brush just to kind of extend that colour out a little bit and just kind of fade it outwards. And then just to deepen up that crease, I'm going to use a slightly darker brown shade. So you're going to do the exact same technique that you did with your crease colour, but you're going to use a skinnier blending brush. And with this brush, you can get right inside that crease, which is why I like using a little bit of a smaller one to do this step. So if you use your big blending brush to do this, it basically would have just covered that first crease colour that you did. You want to create that sort of depth, and that's what today's eye makeup look is all about, is creating that depth of colour. So using your brush in exactly the same motion, but this time you're going to get it in a much more specific area. And this just creates that kind of gradient of colour in your crease. And then next up for our eyelid, we're going to go for this lovely champagne gold colour just here. So with anything shimmery guys, you always want to make sure that you're using a flat brush to apply this. And that's because anything fluffy is going to blend the colour, but anything flat is going to apply it way better. And especially with shimmery tones like this, you want them to stand out. So using a flat brush and just kind of pressing that onto your eyelid is going to get a much better application. Now when you apply this, notice that I've left kind of the outer corners a little bit empty and the inner corner as well. And that's because we're going to pop in some other shades into those areas in a bit. So just focus mainly on the centre of the eyelid up until your crease colour. And really take your time to kind of, build this colour up, just layer by layer. Because if you take eyeshadow just in one go and try and kind of whack that on, you'll get so much fallout. So with eyeshadow, it's definitely about just building that shade up. Plus we're going for all out glam today, so you really want to make sure that those eyes pop. So next up, we're going to work on our smokiness. And we're going to start off with this dark brown shade first. And you're using the same skinny blending brush just to work this into the outside corner. Now I usually call it like a C shape, and if you've seen my 3-step smoky eye tutorial, I kind of break it down a little bit more in that video as well. But it's kind of just this little area here in the corners, so you can work it out in a little C shape if you wanted to. Some people call it a V. I think C's, I don't know, we can choose whatever one you prefer, but you're just gonna work it into that little area. So this is not the same thing as your crease color where you were going kind of just back and forth with the brush. It's kind of a bit of a smaller movement, just filling in the outer corner. Remember the outer corner that you left out when you were kind of putting your gold on? You're just going to fill in the outer corner as well. And guys, today is all about building that depth of colour, so you really want to take this layer by layer and build it up. It's also why I'm doing my eyes first today, if you've noticed. It's because, if I get any fallout, I can kind of like easily wipe that away. And I know that's going to happen, especially when you try and do like a really glam smoky eye. It's a lot easier to get fallout. So this way I can make as much of a mess as I want, and then you can just wipe it off later. So once you've built up that darker corner colour, you can use what's left on the brush again just to wing it out a little bit. And always follow the angle of the corner of your eye up until the end of the brow, so just that angle there. And at this point guys, if it looks a little bit messy, don't worry, you can always do your cleanup at the end. Just keep going for now and putting your colour on, and we can always sort it out later. And then we're going to use a second darker corner colour, so we're going to go a little bit deeper with that one too. And this time around, I'm going to use my pencil brush first to really pack that colour on in the same sort of area that you did, you know, your first darker corner colour with. But this time you don't want to make it as big. So, you know, before we were sort of doing like a C shape, this time around just bring it a little bit lower and almost like a little bit smaller. So like a bit like a smaller C shape just in the outside corners. Again, you can use this brush and whatever's left of it just to wing out that eyeshadow once more. And guys, this is what I mean by really building up that depth in your eyeshadow. So often when we see like a black smoky eye, we think, oh yeah, you know, she's gone straight in with the black eyeshadow and then just blended it out, when actually there's a bit of a layer of colour in there. So you probably use like a dark brown and then go in with the black on top to really get that depth to it. So I've kind of really winged out this eyeshadow and extended it outwards just to get a bit more of a glam look, but you can easily just keep it a bit more of a rounded shape if that's what you wanted, so you don't have to bring it out as much as I did, but I just prefer it for more of like a glam smoky eye. So guys, next up is my favourite bit. We're going to add a little bit of sparkle for the new year, and I'm using these Stila liquid glitter eyeshadows. Now in my Christmas look last week I also used another one of these, but today I'm going to go in with a shade called Kitten. And what I'm going to do is just use the applicator to place this on top of where I've done the gold eyeshadow, but obviously not going all the way across because you don't want it to kind of mix in with the brown that you've done in the corners. So, you know, you're just using the applicator to sort of just place this gently across where you've done the gold, and then you can just use your finger to just gently pat that into the eyeshadow. Remember guys, don't rub because you'll just end up rubbing it all off. It's just very gently using your finger just to pat it in. You can have as much sparkle as you like for New Year's, so this is completely up to you how much you want to build this up. I think New Year's and Christmas is like, you know, one of the few times where you can just go all out with your makeup. And this shade has a bit more of like a pinky sort of rose gold tone to it, but when you mix that in with like a gold eyeshadow, it creates that sort of perfect champagne-y tone. And then guys, it's time for the cleanup, so to really create that shape with your eye makeup. So what you want to do is you want to take like a cotton pad dipped in some makeup remover, or you could just use a makeup wipe, and what I like to do is just put my finger underneath it, and I'm just going to swipe from this angle, which is the corner of my eye, up until the end of the brow in just basically one go, to just basically get that nice sharp line. And then you can use this just to clean up anything underneath as well, so any fallout that you might have had. So as you guys can see, that starts to create a really nice winged out shape. And that's why I said earlier, like, you know, if you're making a mess, don't worry, because you're going to do the cleanup later on. But it's a really simple technique. I know a lot of people use tape, but personally, I just really don't like the feeling of like tape on my skin. I think sometimes that also creates a bit of too much of a harsh line, but again, it's personal preference. So if you want to kind of do it that way, you can do, but I just like to use like a cotton pad, makeup remover, and just wipe that off. So guys, I've just applied my base and I've used the Chanel foundation today, and this is the Perfection Lumière foundation. It's a really nice, definitely full coverage foundation, so it's perfect for like, you know, my full glam looks. It's oil free, so for all of you kind of oily skin girls out there, like it's perfect for that. It's got a really nice matte finish, but what I really like about it is it's not drying on the skin. So even though it's matte and oil free, it still goes on really nice and smooth. Now I'm someone who has more of like a drier skin type, so if I can still use this, then definitely if you're looking for a matte oil-free foundation that doesn't dry out your skin, I really do like this one. It's a bit more of the premium range, but it does go on just so beautifully and it smells good. I don't know what it is about the foundation, but it actually smells really nice. What you can do is, if you are very dry skin, and you can use a facial oil like on your skin first, like when you prep your skin or moisturize it, and then if you go on top with a foundation like this, it'll be a perfect balance as well. I've also then set the foundation with my MAC mineral powder in medium golden. So then I'm going to go in with my contour to give my face a little bit of shape, because right now it's looking really flat with just the foundation and powder on. I'm looking a bit like a ghost as well. I'm going to go in with my Tom Ford powder today to contour. And I love powder contouring. I just find it so much easier. And it's all about just getting the angle right, guys. So basically, if you want to follow that angle from the top of the ear down to the corner of the mouth, that angle just there, and this will work on every face shape as well, and kind of just stopping where your eye starts, just there. And I love using kind of like just any kind of powder really. What's funny is that this Tom Ford powder that I'm using is actually a powder foundation, but it works really well as a contour. So guys, you can even use, you know, I don't know, any kind of darker face powder that you bought by mistake. Maybe you could even use like an eyeshadow. So basically the great thing about powder contouring is you can use any powder product as long as it's not kind of like, you know, an orangey brown. And as long as it doesn't have like shimmer to it, because obviously you're going to add your highlight, so your contour color should always be matte, and you know, your highlight is then going to be shimmery. So yeah, as long as it's not like, you know, an orangey brown, and as long as it has a bit more of a matte texture, you're fine to use it as your contour. And I'm just using this angle brush to do this, and I use this for my contour and my blusher as well. I'm going to use the same colour, same brush, just to go around, you know, the temples of the forehead as well, just to kind of warm that up a little bit and add some colour back into my face. And then I'm going to go in with this lovely pinky blush from MAC, and this one's called Hush Tone. I'm using the same brush that I did for my contour, which I love to do. Like, I love being efficient with my products, meaning like if I can use something like in more than one way, then I definitely will. And the perfect way to get your blush on is to just give yourself a big smile. And then, you know, the apple of the cheeks just here, you're going to start from here and you're going to blend that, basically going into your contour. So almost like sweeping it from the apple of the cheek here and into the contour. And when you get a bit of practice, you'll start to do it a little bit quicker like me, but take it slow if you find it a little bit difficult to get blusher on. So starting here and almost using like a sweeping motion just into that contour, and it just allows the two to kind of blend in really nicely together. And then of course we can't forget our highlight, and one of my favourite highlighters is the Becca Cosmetics Champagne Pop highlighter. So I love this for more of like a, again, you know, a bit more of a champagne tone colour. But if you want a more golden highlighter, then I really like the MAC Oh Darling highlight, which has more of a goldeny tone to it. I just love highlight, guys. Like, I literally think it's a bit like kind of icing on the cake. You know, when you kind of finish a beautiful cake and then you get to kind of like, you know, put the icing on. That's genuinely how I feel like highlighter is for the face, basically. And I love that kind of glow. I'm just using my fan brush and just kind of, you know, moving this back and forth quite quick just to get a nice wash of colour. And again, guys, it's New Year's, so build up that glow to however much you want. I'm going to add a little bit just down the centre of my nose as well. Now, I don't like to contour my nose, I just like to add a little bit of highlight. I just think it's like way more flattering as well, rather than having kind of like, you know, two brown lines down the side of your nose. Also, if I'm being completely honest, no one really needs to contour their nose. Like, we're all born like great the way we are. No need to change the shape of your nose, but what I do find is a little bit flattering just to get that extra glow. And if you really did want to make, you know, your nose look a little bit slimmer, or if you're into that, then just adding a little bit of highlight is perfect. And of course, I can't forget to add the same highlight into my inner corners as well, and just underneath that eyebrow bone too. So guys, we're going to go back to the eyes and just add some finishing touches. Now, I've already added my lashes, and these are from a brand called Victorus lashes. I'm wearing some that are a little bit more glam, so my ones are called Addictive, and as you can see, they do loads of different types as well. So if you're a bit more of a natural person, you can go for these too. But I do really like this eyelash brand, mainly because the lashes don't feel so heavy on your eyes. I hate that feeling when, you know, you put on false lashes and it just feels like your eyes are kind of like just closing, and they're a lot more lightweight and the band isn't as thick. Now, I haven't added any winged eyeliner to this look, mainly because I sort of created that kind of winged out shape with my eyeshadow already, and I don't always feel like every single eyeshadow look needs winged eyeliner, but by all means, if you guys want to add that on, you can do. What I am going to do is just add some eyeliner to my waterline, and I'm just using a brown pencil instead of black. And this is mainly because sometimes I find that black can look a little bit harsh, so brown sort of still gives you that smokiness, but without it looking as harsh as a black eyeliner. And of course, to make the smoky eye really glam, we do need to smoke out the bottom of the eyes as well. And I'm going to go in with that second darker corner colour that I used, which was that dark brown just here. So just really smoking out the bottom helps to give it a really kind of intense smoky eye look. And of course, using the same brown shade that you've used in the corners just complements all the colours really well. So guys, I've just finished off the look with one of my favourite liquid matte lipsticks at the moment. In fact, one of my favourite lipstick brands at the moment. It's a brand called by Jess D, and they've got some great colours and ranges for all skin tones. And this is in the shade Boudoir. So guys, I really hope you enjoyed today's look. Don't forget, I do also teach private makeup lessons in the comfort of your own home. So if you think that's something you might want to do in the new year, do get in touch. All my contact information is below. Make sure you also follow me on Instagram to stay up to date, and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on new videos every week. And guys, can you believe it? That's it for 2019, my last video of the year. So wishing you all a very happy new year, and as always, stay beautiful, stay you. So to start off with our crease, I'm going to be using this lovely shade just here. So as you guys can see, it's oil free, so for all of you so I really do like the kind of, just finished off my look with a lip from what to my channel, where today I'm bringing you this champagne gold